lose a left rear tire to a place like this in the corners, and there's not a whole lot you can do.
And I'm so surprised and amazed and thrilled that all those drivers somehow missed him.
Somehow.
Watch this. John Wood just
made it, yeah.
Then he comes back down the track.
That's the scary part right there for a driver. When you're sliding down that racetrack backwards, looking up the racetrack at your competitors.
Side pole sitter.
There you see Sauter. I mean, just that tire let go. He had no place to go, and Aaron Fike was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not sure what happened with Reed.
That's exactly what I was wondering. We might want to look at that again.
Reed got tagged up in the corner. He got tagged up in the corner. Here we go. See, the 41 is coming along.
Oh, I got him right in the quarter, right at the bumper. Yep. Yeah. You're good, BP.
See, John.
But it's early in the race. You don't need to be in that big of a hurry. Jeff Burton also made a...
Oh, here we go. Trouble.
That's Menard and the 60 of Carl Edwards. Cars diving down pit road and several through the grass.
Oh, and he just clipped. Who was that? 38, is that AJ Foyt?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of damage.
I do too.
There's Paul Tracy on the top. He just get tagged by John Andretti.
Biffle just missed it.
Just got tagged in the left rear quarter panel. Doesn't take much when you're in the corners here at Daytona.
Now watch the very top of the screen here.
Right there. Right there.
And it looked like there were a couple other cars in front of that. Right in the middle of that. There he goes.
Definitely. EP, why can't we get these tires to last?
I don't know. I don't understand that. 30, 35 laps and the right front tire just...
Oh, that was Vickers in the 57, but I don't know what caused that.
Probably have to back it up just a little bit. Let's see.
They got bottled up there.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart.
Biffle.
Looks like Biffle got the back of 57, yes.
Casey Kane has reported on the radio he's okay. Got hit once and then twice.
That's the 35 car of Regan Smith.
Oh, man, he just got clipped, Casey Kane. Just barely. Just enough. Okay. Now, I can't tell if he got hooked.
Did someone run in the back of the 5?
That's right. The 5 may have gotten hooked.
Back up.
You can see Kyle was waving, trying to tell him back there that.
Mike Dillon trying to urge his driver to the line.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go.
Casey Compton into the wall. Michael Waltrip is around.
Denny Hamlin hard into Elliott Sadler.
Stewart takes the checkers. The caution, obviously. Another hard hit. You were right, Benny. They didn't make it around.
Didn't see any way they could. Who gets in the back of the 59?
It looks like Elliott Sadler may have got the 59 a little bit loose there. Boy, I mean, Denny Hamlin just pounded Sadler.
Let's see again. Yeah, it looks like Elliott might have either that or maybe the 59 just lost control off the corner. Don't know.
Reed Sorensen in the 41.
David Green, Mark Green in 4 car goes through there, makes contact again.
Larry, when they get under someone, that seems like it's when they have trouble. Oh, yeah, he's around early back there.
Nowhere for Elliott Sadler to go. He was all the way down on the apron in the 90.
Could have been a lot worse.
two Dodge drivers as they battle each other. This will definitely, and we have somebody getting it all crazy loose coming out of turn 4. It looked like it was a 64 car, in fact, of Jamie McMurray.
He only lost 2 positions, kept it off the wall. You'll see how close he came here. But only Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth got by him.
Bad drive, good putt.
Nobody else could see to get by him. Currently running second. Way right there back in the middle of 3. I think it's 3 and 4, isn't it? No, it's the back straightaway. It's off of 1 and 2. And you can see like the carmate got away from him and around it came. He locked it up, turned it left, kept it down off the wall. Now he gets a chance to drive it back around, put 4 brand new tires on this thing, and go some more.
But then later on, that's Jamie.
He got up on the turtles, and the car got loose with him, and he couldn't correct it.
Yeah, so that was not any kind of retaliation.
What did you say at the beginning of the show? Beware of the turtles.
Beware of those turtles.
So they're all
27 and 27. Now this is why we are under caution. Danny O'Quinn Jr. in the 50 car, one of those cars that pitted under green, out there by himself, just came around with him and got loose.
Dick Berggren.
See what Dick Berggren knows. He's down there in the 9-10.
Bernie Lamar just looks like he maybe just got loose.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a lot of cars. And look at Michelle Jourdain in the 15 car.
Where'd he come from? What happened here, buddy? Hit the curb, hit the curb. Just same place that the 59 wrecked
now
in qualifying.
Have you ever hit a tire wall?
Oh,
I'll tell you about it.
It tears a car all to pieces.
Well, and here's Michelle Jourdain. Just prior, he is trying to miss Jason Leffler, who had climbed the curb. Here's what happened the wrong way as Boyer got spun.
Menard and 11 just getting by. You see a lot of cars going off the racetrack. Clint Boyer.
Number 12, Joel Kaufman, goes around. And that puts us under the caution flag for the 5th time today.
Back in 22nd spot.
Whoa, our 2-liter spin.
No, it's Jourdain. Yeah, Jourdain and Kyle Busch.
Racing for the lead. The caution is out.
Andretti spins.
It may be more because it's smoke. You can't see.
Boyer spins. Regan Smith, Mark McFarland, and the Navy car turns around the McDonald's machine. Right here.
Boy, it looked like Jorge Getters in the 66 just barely squeaks by.
Hey, let's see if we can talk to Boris. We'll get it right from a horse's mouth. What do you say?
What do you say?
Sounds good.
Hey, Boris said this is a DW up in the Fox.
On lap 10.
This car just walked up the racetrack just a little bit. Tracy Hines in the 14 got into AJ Fort, the 4th and the 38. And boy, Spencer Clark, that 65, just barely gets by.
Yeah, AJ kept pinned down the 14 there so tight to the bottom. Turn 4, and it's a difficult corner to run. And looks like it's really difficult when you have the 99 car of my brother pushing you.
Boy, Paul Menard, the 11 car, all the way almost into the grass to get by him on the bottom.
You wonder if that's 2 cars trying to fit in the same spot or if the 99 had become irritated. Let's have a look here as LePage.
Down on that slick apron, old wore out tires. Car comes around with him.
Pretty darn good job of saving it, really. And 64 car, McMurray. Ooh.
Gets into the back of John Andretti in the 10. Turns John around.
McMurray on the lead lap, 10 car not.
You could see the car come up right there, and the roof flaps, the 2 flaps that deployed on the top, set it back on the ground.
And then
this.
Oh.
And he started going back up the racetrack. Then once the speed of the car slowed down, came back down on the apron.
Let me show this to you in real time.
Man, did you hear that?
That was a hard lick.
I believe the car that just snuck through on the inside was Kenny Schrader.
That road gets the car airborne.
Now it is Schrader who comes by on the inside and misses Andretti.
but Andretti comes down off the bank right in Tim Sauter's path. Darrell, we've talked at length about why these drivers don't all just lift out of the throttle when something happens up ahead.
Done.
I think you'll see.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if he got help or he got loose getting in. It's hard to tell from that replay.
Yeah, David Green got in the back of him, but Darrell, things run so close here. If you lose a little of your forward momentum, whether you're coming into the corner or coming off the corner, somebody's going to hit you.
I think he just basically, I think it jumped out from under and getting in, and I don't really think that David Green made any contact with him. They got work to do. You see the 64 just gets up the hill a little bit. The 9 gets a nose under him, and they make contact.
And we're told the caution was out, had just come out when this occurred.
Anticipate possibly we'll see these guys back to pit road now.
Whoa.
Kenny Schrader.
Schrader kind of got into the back of the 77. Then he got into the side of the 77. Schrader in the green 66. Bernie Lamar in the yellow 77. Around he went.
Let's see what Michael Waltrip saw of Supercuts number 12.
All you can do is lock it down and hang on. Hope you don't hit the end of that wall down there. Sometimes you get lucky and miss it. Most of the time you hit it.
And despite the safer barrier, a lot of damage to the front end of Kaufman's car.
Ashton Lewis and the 88 have been running. Ashton Lewis a lap down. And the 88 was trying to get around him. They've been on the outside of him. McFarland had there for several laps, and they finally made contact. Well, that's a shame. The 90 car got clipped by the 12 down on the inside. The 12's got the whole front end torn off, and that's Joel Kaufman.
Rejoined Mike Lariadero.
Whoa, trouble, turn 2. Big trouble.
Regan Smith, Paul Menard.
Caution is out.
Is that why you wanted to join us, Chris? Just kind of all down here on this tight group on the restart. Once again, Ashton Lewis gets into somebody. He hits a Johnny Sauter there and sends him around, and here comes the 35, and here comes the 11, and it looks like a pinball machine.
But how many close calls has Clint Boyer had today at the 2 car?
And probably the worst of all that is that when Ashton Lewis got turned around sideways, he slid up and into his teammate. That's why.
Sorensen in the blue car with the red numbers.
He got in the back of Tracy Hines.
Tracy Hines, who's been driving a great race, they get turned around.
Now Tracy Hines in the 14 car, he's one of the cars that's out there on fairly old tires right now.
That's a hard lick,
yes,
and lifted the whole left side off the ground.
You said punt, pass, and kick. There was a kick.
Yeah, and he's a pretty big boy. He might want to get out and kick somebody.
He got help, but there's no question, Darrell. He had got out of the throttle completely. It looked like the car just wouldn't go right there.
I think he was trying to keep it on the bottom to give whoever that was on the outside, Biffle, enough room. Whoa, that car almost went over, guys. Hit that pavement right there and went a little airborne, but yeah, he was trying to give him room on the outside, keeping it pinched down. He ended up having to lift out of the throttle a tad.
Because you could even hear how much Greg Biffle got out of the throttle before he got it.
Paul Menard in the 11. Contact.
Yes.
Calamity.
And Gillen is, he's had some pretty good runs going at times. Think back to Vegas, where he was running real well and seemed like he has bad luck. So
he was not a lead lap car. Menard was coming up to lap him, but 162.
Oh, here we go. Round go.
Yaley.
Hard in the outside wall. Caution will be out.
Spread out.
Lucky he
got another one spinning down here. I think he just came up off the apron. He may have got bumped, but I don't think he did.
Fourth caution of the day in the O'Reilly 300.
The car's on the ground in case they go to spin out.
Well, if he got help, he got it way back there.
Yeah, Casey got into him, Darrell, and around went Keller. Now, it may have been because Keller lifted, couldn't get off the corner. We don't know why, but there was, you hear him say 9 car, but there was contact. I believe Todd Cleaver.
We're here and they're both out of the car and okay.
Boy, Anthony has had a tough first part of this season.
Man, there were some guys that were lucky right in there.
Jason Leffler, Bernie Lamar just barely getting by. You see Jay Sauter, no control of the car right here.
That car's going like the throttle's.
It could, as hard as he hit the wall, it probably was. He just gets in there. Yeah, he gets her a little bit loose. I can see sparks flying out from under it.
See him bottoming out just a little bit up there on the high side. A little bit of contact with the outside wall.
From that angle.
He just got loose.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think what may have happened, though, is I think he saw those cars bottling up in front of him. He ran up on them. He may have gotten on the brakes and just spun himself out.
There you go. The car was on the bottom, and it just took off with him, walked up the racetrack. That's what I say. It's like very treacherous out there right now. The track does not have a lot of grip, it looks like, on the bottom.
What's going on with Kyle Busch, Matt?
Had a dinner with one of their sponsors. Met with the employees the next day.
Trouble, Matt. Big wreck on the backstretch. Coming off of turn 2, multi-car accident on lap 97.
Whoa. Mark McFarland, you could see Todd Cleaver in the 06 check up for the caution. Mark McFarland did not in the 88 car and just ran all over the top of him.
Back, Johnny in the 00 gets into the 36 of Tim, his brother.
But it looked like Johnny Sauter in the 00 just got a little bit loose, walked up into his brother's left rear quarter panel. David Green, the tail of 2006, nowhere to go. Now, David Rudeman looks like he already had some damage and just couldn't get stopped. Goes all into the back of Johnny Sauter in the 00. I mean, that's almost like no man's land.
There, Busch has already made contact with the wall. Slight contact. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage to that 5 car.
Now, Paul Menard, Dan Still, and the crew chief, the 11 car, they've elected to come to pit road. No. Like possibly a little help maybe from the 6 car, Mark Martin.
Yeah, it sort of looked that way. It's hard to tell from the angles we've got.
I don't know if he just got loose in front of Mark. That angle there kind of looked that way. I don't know.
I am assuming there was contact, but it's really hard to tell because there was a gap between them up until. See if we can get a better shot here. 5 just gets in there underneath the 33 and he gets down on the apron and it gets loose and he walks right up into the side of the 33 car of Hornaday.
People may ask, why was Ron Hornaday racing that hard 1 lap down? Again, you're trying to become the first car a lap down behind.
Yeah, see, he's out of control. I mean, he loses it back there in the middle of the corner, slides right up in front of.
Nowhere for Jerry Robertson in the 78 to go, but this car.
He goes up the hill here, the 1 does. He gets loose.
Stay low there. Clear.
And the 25, I don't know.
Behind you.
If he jumped on the brake or
Caution will be out.
what?
This is getting
He hooked Reagan Smith.
Well, no,
Reagan Smith
hooked him. Yeah, it looked like he was going to move up a little bit, and Reagan caught the back of him, of Derek Cope, and turned him. And then here comes Derek, and he says, "Ooh."
33 lead lap cars as Paul Tracy just made a stop, 1 lap down. Crash. Car upside down. Start finish line. It is Stewart.
Daniel Quinn in the 50 got into it.
I don't see anyone else but Stewart.
Car drove to the inside, and I think Tony thinks there's a hole right there that he's trying to get down in, and there's just not, he just doesn't quite have enough room to get in front of Kenny Wallace. And look at that race car. They just become like feathers blowing in the wind. Now, this is a hard lick right here. Fortunately, it's just, it's more in the left front than it is anywhere else. Down in that hole right there, not much room. I know Kenny Wallace is doing everything he can probably to give Tony all the room he can, but there's just not enough room there. You see the roof flaps deploy. Car goes upside down and hits hard on the left side.
Yeah, the roof flaps deployed. They did their job, but the air just got out from underneath the back of the car, and the car came around.
Yeah, Tony was just trying to get in a hole that really wasn't big enough.
Wow.
Watch out. Now go left. Caution's out.
How'd you like to be a young driver?
It's just right there. Just not quite enough room. And again, as I've said over and over, the car is so light in that part of the racetrack.
from our DLP cable cam.
Martineau, got to stay there, hang on to that yellow line, buddy, because you got it.
Oh, J.J. Yaley got slammed into the wall.
Caution is out.
Dadgum.
Oh, I hate that.
Here's McFarland. He got into the back of Compton. Turned him around, and here comes John Andretti. He gets hit from behind.
Where Compton got all the damage was couldn't keep it off the inside wall.
That's our line, and run high if you want to. Oh, there's trouble right there. The 70 car's around.
Justin Dirks.
Second time. He got trouble early.
From Davenport, Iowa.
What was wrong with John? He come up off the corner, had to get up out of the gas, and when he did, he got nailed from behind.
Mike Wallace just misses it, drives through the hole, and so does the 25 of Ashton Lewis.
Right in front of a big pack of cars.
Yeah, happens just in.
Whoa, my gosh.
Jay Sauter in the 01 car gets in the back of the 90, and when Elliott Sadler spins, he gets into Mark McFarland, the 88.
But wait a minute, were they all checking up, though, for what happened to Reed Sorensen? Here's Sorensen. Let's watch this.
It's a little tap from Carl Edwards in the 60 car.
That's got to be it, Mike. I mean, 01, Sauter just ran all over the back end of...
We were unable to confirm it up here because with the cautions coming rapidly, the inspector was unable to report it up to the tower to NASCAR so that we could get confirmation. But that is indeed what happened, just as Matt reported it.
Now, as that caution came out, Michael Waltrip in the...
Now look 3 cars ahead of the car you're riding with, Ryan Newman. And
Spin in front of you. Stay low. You're clear.
I didn't see any contact. Car just went around. Got to believe it. It may have had something to do with that tire we saw. Maybe.
Tim's.
Little help from brother.
Well, all 3 Sauters right in a row, Johnny, Tim, and Jay.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, boy. Goodbye.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
That's a shame.
That is a big shame.
Caution is out. So far, the Menard is good to go. We should also point out that last fall here, last September, Paul Menard finished second, career best. We got one in the wall. Reed Sorensen in that 41 car, he was running in the 6th position. Caution is out. As Reed Sorensen will not get this car moving.
No.
Off the corner, completing trouble. Turn 1. Smoker. Aaron Fike. Well, maybe he didn't just spin the tires on that initial start.
Whoa. We stay green. There's no caution yet.
Oh, they got to be a caution.
He's going to stop over there.
We're on fire. You need to get out of that car, Aaron.
That baby,
caution.
Caution
is out.
That baby burst into flame when the oil got on the headers.
Curtis Davis in the 34 getting into the outside of the front stretch here.
Here's the 47, and he's going to come back out in the racetrack. The 34 right in front of Carl.
You know, it almost looks like Carl's left front got into the right rear of 34 and turned him into the wall. Maybe.
Yikes.
Maybe.
Really difficult to do with all these cars packed in here together. Carl Edwards gets into the back of Ryan. There goes a 2 up in the wall. 66 gets hit by Mike Bliss in a 30. Just an accordion effect.
And
car up there has already got damage. Tony gets into him trying to make the pass. Turns Tony into the fence. A lot of damage to both those race cars.
And Darrell, what could have prevented that? Kaufman being a lap down.
They've raced each other hard all night long.
My goodness.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was reversed at Richmond. Jay got in the back of Tim at Richmond last week.
I believe you're right.
Well, you just can't run into people like that here at Darlington. Pretty limited amount of grip anyway, and then you give a guy a shot like that, he's going to go around.
And actually, Jay, the 01 car, was still on the lead lap. Tim Sauter in the 36 was a couple of laps down.
This is, brother, where art thou?
2 weeks in a row. Anybody want to fix the symptom, but not the problem?
Watch this. I mean, it just cuts the tire down. It goes straight in the wall. Bam.
And he had checked out on those boys in about 2 laps.
Fast car, or fast hot rod, as his owner would say. Larry, they're taking their time getting him out.
Just got loose. How many times have we seen that off turn? And Darrell, it seems like it's more off turn 4 for the Busch cars, off turn 2 for the Cup cars.
Yeah, and there goes that spring, Larry, rolling down through there. Here comes the 9. He hits it first. Now, I don't know. I didn't see where it went after that.
Tony's out of the car, and he is okay. Wow.
I mean, that was late exit.
Tony's okay, but he's holding his right arm and his shoulder, rubbing it.
Now here comes Blaney.
I think both rear springs came out of that
It looked
car,
like
so
it, and I wouldn't be a
7 here. Man, he's just up there all by himself.
Got loose, walked up the racetrack.
Well, I will be.
And now McFarland is behind him, I believe.
Are these related? Yeah. Man, that's odd. Both cars did the same thing in the same spot.
Darrell, do you think Mark McFarland saw Robbie Gordon get sideways and maybe he did something to get his car sideways?
It almost looked like they both did the same thing at the same spot and they were not even related. Like the
Mike Wallace going about 170 miles per hour.
Coming down the back straightaway, track bar broke. Mike did a great job of keeping this car out of the wall. They perfected repairs. He's now back to the racetrack.
He wouldn't have to get a little nerf, would he? Oh, my goodness. He got jacked up.
But he checked
Whoa,
up
look
because
but did you see that? Or it was a 5 car that got through there. Kyle Busch. Wow, he was lucky.
Now,
yeah, the 47 checked up because of the 2. There's no question.
You want to see somebody that's lucky. 2 goes around.
Biffle gets by. Jimmy Johnson gets by. Kyle Busch gets by.
And Carl Edwards just all but stopped the 60 car up there on the high side.
Good thing. Watch Biffle.
Gets loose.
Now here comes Menard into the picture to the grass.
And you see Regan Smith get turned back there by Cleaver.
Biffle did hit the outside wall, but I'm not sure. I don't think Regan Smith hit anything at all.
I don't think he did either. He just got booted from behind and spun around. I think this car loses a tire right there.
Oh,
boy,
yeah,
you just see
big
that.
time.
Huge.
And Casey was right
and
behind
Casey
it.
was right behind him, and there were a lot of parts flying out from under that thing. Man, that's
about like Jamie McMurray hit it earlier.
We have seen some heavy hits tonight. This car gets turned around. Here's McCall up against the outside wall, coming off the corner.
It looks like possibly Ashton Lewis's teammate, Regan Smith, got into the back of him. Regan in the McDonald's 35 car.
Not get run over.
Oh, he just gets down underneath the 10 car there coming off of turn 2 and trying to stay off of him, pinches it down real tight and man hard into that inside wall again. Down the hill he went.
And then up the hill, and look at him. Very lucky because there's a lot of cars coming at him right there.
And fortunately, they had most of them.
It is sideways and it finally catches it. I believe the left rear tire might be down.
There's a part flying out from underneath.
All I know is it's been a long day already for Renzi Motorsports with Regan Smith at 35. Ashton.
See right here, there's what the 31 got loose right in front of Todd Bodine in the 34. Right here, and then Lamar has nowhere to go. He kind of make contact, and that turns everybody else. Almost turned the 38 car of Leffler over. Paul Menard trying to slip through, didn't quite make it.
Add the 88 McFarland to those involved.
And Menard and Leffler, 2 of our Busch Series regulars that are up in the top 10 in points.
Way around that battle. It's trouble. Sideways. The 88 Mark McFarland in the Navy Chevrolet gets spun around. On the outside of him, I believe it was Jay Sauter in the 01.
Sure will. That's Cale Gale. He got sideways, got real loose there. Slid up the racetrack, had to chase it. He made some contact with Boris, and then obviously Boris lost control up on the high side of the racetrack, made some pretty hard contact with the outside wall with a safer barrier. He was all by himself just as he started to exit turn number 2, lost the back end, spun around, made some contact with the safer barrier.
Was able to keep it out of traffic, hold it in a straight line once he kicked.
Look at your right of your screen. He was in a battle right there, almost a 3 wide battle. That's There's double zero. Johnny Sauter on the inside. It might have been Jay Sauter, the 0-1 on the outside. And Riggin got a little bit loose in the middle of those three cars. And
same thing we talked about earlier, Phil.
Here's going to be the very tail end of the spin there. Looked like there was some contact possibly by the 88 car of Mark McFarland. But Mike Wallace, who was penalized a lot by NASCAR for pulling up to pit, more than likely will be the recipient of it. Here comes Greg Biffle in the 66. There's the contact we were thinking we saw right there. That was Greg Biffle in the Cup Cadet, number 66.
Just ever so slightly. You can see him. There's not much you can do. I mean, these cars, you're already on the edge. You're trying to run them as free as you possibly can, especially at the beginning of a run, and it doesn't take much contact.
Screen. Have some trouble off turn number 2 there. He's already made contact with the outside wall. Here comes Jeff Fuller to avoid hitting him right in the door. He turns his car hard left, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to spin it around. He's going to make some awfully hard contact with the inside wall.
Phil couldn't hit it in a worse place. I mean, it was angled to the opening on the pit, inside wall on the backstretch. There's an opening there. Hit at a bad angle, hit flat, right there. Just a bad place to do that. But what Jeff Fuller was trying to do was trying to avoid hitting Jason Leffler. You're thinking it looks like there's a lot of time to make decisions here, but this is a split-second decision, from Jeff Fuller to come. If you'll notice, as he comes into the picture here, he's heading right for the door for Jason Leffler, decides to make a hard left to miss contact with Jason Leffler, and went right into the inside wall, hit it, at exactly the wrong spot where that opening is on that flat contact. And as you know, that flat part of the wall there is.
Saying Hermie, he did a great job to miss that. You can see how fast they're going right here.
You look at that at speed. It really puts it into perspective, the kind of contact.
Right. Wow. Looks like he was by himself. He just got loose at that very, very troublesome spot getting in turn number 3. Remember, that's where the transition from straightaway to corner, the bank really doesn't seem to start quick enough. You have a tendency to get loose right in that area, and that looks like that may have been what happened to Reed Sorensen. The 77 car on the outside. Let's see if Clint comes up here and makes a little bit of contact. He looked like Bernie Lummer may have had to get off the throttle a little bit. That's a situation where Clint Boyer was very, very close. He didn't just run up there and hit him. It looked like Bernie Lamar had to get out of the throttle, and when he did, Clint Boyer made some slight contact.
Sometimes when coming off that turn, too, it's hard to say whether. The 77 car definitely got out of the gas at that spot right there, and Clint Boyer got in the back of him. Great job again by Stephen Light sliding by on the outside, not panicking and getting by on the outside.
He didn't. We're under caution. The 43 of Chris Cook. You see him right there in front of the 50 of Danny O'Quinn. Looks like he might have got just a little bit loose when the 50 of Danny O'Quinn pulled right up behind him. He does a great job not making any contact. Stays down in the grass off the racetrack. Good job by Chris Cook to get that car straightened back out. But turn 1 and 2, there went Denny Hamlin. You see him on the inside of David Ruderman. He makes a little bit of contact with Ruderman. As you mentioned, it just pulls the front end to the left and around the back end goes. Fortunately, David Green did a nice job getting around him. A wad down there getting in turn number 3. And see Todd Cleaver sideways first, and he makes some contact with the 10 of John Andretti, and then Augie Vidovich ran into the 35 of Regan Smith. So all looked like the 59 of Stacy Compton went high. He got turned a little bit by the 66 of Scott Wimmer. Then the 5 comes along, makes some contact with the 66 of Scott Wimmer. They were all battling for about the 15th spot back.
In his right rear and turned him, and boy, at that part of the straightaway, that makes it tough to try to avoid stuff at that speed.
And you see the 59 on the inside, Stacy Compton. On a lap down, Jason's going to try to get low to try to get to the pits here. He knows he's going a little too hot. He locks up the rear brakes. He makes the slightest bit of contact. Maybe didn't even touch the inside wall, but
NASCAR's looking, but the problem comes when everybody gets just bound up just right here a little bit. Tim Sauter gets turned around. It looks like that's about the only thing that happens right there. Just a little bit of damage, not bad.
Yeah, but the caution comes out. The 98 of Aaron Crocker actually made contact with the 36 of Tim Sauter. Watch, here's Carl.
They start to go. Looks like some people check up, and she just got bumped by Todd Cleaver and just turned her right into the outside wall. And this happens so fast. I mean, it doesn't. You think, well, how come they just didn't put on the brakes or something?
He's against him. He's right against him. Palmer, he's still against him. He's turned him sideways. He gets turned around. Kevin Harvick. Harvick spins around. He had J.J. Yaley all over the back bumper. Harvick spins around, and now you have melee on the backstretch.
This looks like this about took out the whole top 4 or 5 of the field here, and I think what you saw there.
To clear the lapped car, Matt. Trouble. Turn 4, 3 cars sideways.
Oh, here we go.
Bunches and bunches. Here comes another one. The 2 cars all the way through the grass.
Reed Sorensen in it hard, along with Paul Tracy, the IndyCar star, and watch 41, middle of the track. Paul Tracy coming up a bit. Sorensen makes contact once, twice, and then the game is on.
A number of people did a nice job of getting through that mess. He just gave him a bump in the wrong place. That's what they've been complaining about here. You can't bump in the corners, and you can't bump going into the corners.
Stephen Light in the 90 car, who was trying to get his lap back, he was heavily involved. Has already hit pit road already. He's doing his pass through. I don't think they're going to let that work since the caution is already out.
No, he'll probably have to restart at the tail end of the line.
Which beats what would have happened had we not had that caution, because he would have been totally out of the equation doing a pass through under green.
He just gets loose underneath. He's trying to stay off Reed Sorensen there in the 41 car, and he just lost it. Unfortunately, he lost it in front of about 40 other guys.
And it looks like Kyle Busch in the 5 car got some help from the back by Martin Truex in the 88.
That could have been a lot worse. Should have been a lot worse. Side. Gets a little bit loose all by himself, pretty much. I mean, there was nobody right underneath him.
It's also what Denny Hamlin said. It's also what Carl Edwards said when he gave up the lead. On board with the
36 of Tim Sauter, when he came off turn 2, I think he moved down to try to pass a car in front of him and pulled down in Tracy Hines' line.
And that set Hines almost head on into the wall. You can see the heavy damage. Watch the 36.
That's Augie Vidovich in the 4 that Tim Sauter was going to come down and pass. I don't think he realized Tracy Hines was there.
And he hit it didn't look like that hard of a hit, but look at the damage.
He was up there in front.
I think 11's going to get just a little bit loose. The Denny Hamlin got underneath. Did touch him, but did take the air off him.
They were separate instances.
Wow, that was close.
So where did McMurray get?
He's in front of the 11. Did you see that?
He was?
Yes. See what we can see here.
Yellow card right in the center of the screen. Around Bernie goes.
Ooh, good job, Bobby Labonte. 66 car.
On board with Denny Hamlin.
Started. Another 30 seconds. Oh, he gets some, tries to stay off the 36 car of Tim Sauter, and in doing so, spun himself out. With another 30 seconds, Denny Hamlin would start. Andretti thinking about going by on the outside, and I guess Regan came up and just caught him in the right rear quarter and turned him head on in the wall. So running together, and Tracy Hines just gets in the back of the 31 car. Oh my goodness.
And had some company in the door.
Man, oh man. That's Curtis Davis in the 0, about flipped. But Sorensen is trying to get in there. That's not going to work.
Sorensen! Slow motion spin. Oh,
that's it.
Yeah. Stephen Light, the 90 car, comes along and hits the 41. The 64 McMurray. Looks like Mike Wallace, the 1 car, might have gotten in the back of him going in turn 3 in the middle of the corner.
Didn't hit anything.
Kept it off the wall.
There's Chase and Leffler, and there we go. And there we go. Stephen Wallace in the 64 is around. Today.
I see him right down there. He actually got run into by Regan Smith, but
just nipped the outside wall.
Just a little bit, but not too much damage. It's not going to really. Here in the 4th car, Vidovich, he was ready to get on the gas, gets into Robertson. Hornaday decides just to move everyone over.
Get himself clear of the accident.
Yeah, find a hole. He made on the high side, and more than likely we're going to see a little bit of a contact here. Actually, the 77 car of Bernie Lamar got into the curb. When he hit the curb, it bounced his car up into. Let's see what happened here. 18 slides up the racetrack, gets into the 5 car.
Well, that was weird, huh? Like when he stepped on the gas, the car started to get away, and he was wrestling with it.
I bet you if we would have started that backer, he'd back.
This is Kyle is back in 30.
Oh! Johnny Andretti and Ron Hornaday have an argument of real estate.
Caution down, caution down.
It looks like Boris just gets tagged. Not sure who's doing the tagging there.
That's Danny O'Quinn in the 50 for Roush Racing. Right there.
Looks like John Wood tags the 84 car of David Gilliland. And I mean, David wrecked that car. That car's done.
Maybe a that was 88 of Mark McFarland.
Yeah.
There's a knot. That could be our record breaker.
There it is.
Could this be the
very nice? Good call, AB.
How about that?
Very nice.
Waiting on the yellow, waiting on it. Haven't seen it yet. Now it's out.
Goes. Spin was already in progress. Have to see that again.
I bet we can do that.
You get help?
Probably.
Well, yeah, he's got that fender damage or bumper damage.
Look to the right.
Yeah, he's going to get tagged. The 66 car.
That's Keller.
Keller gets tagged by Amarillo.
These guys have to pit because he's been green for 30 laps now. Have to pit in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Wow.
Ryan Newman.
Something broke on that car because it looked like an oil line or something. There a lot of oil on the track. You see these guys are hitting it now. Denny Hamlin.
Bernard, Robbie Gordon. Oh, another car sliding in there.
That was Hamlin. That would be the wheel hop. The dreaded wheel hop in turn 1.
You get on the brakes.
Yeah, you're going downhill. You get on the brakes and the front just slams down. I don't know if he dumped him. I mean, Greg Biffle was going down there, tried to outbrake him. Kind of slid over into Scott. It wasn't Scott's fault. Mears had a good run on him, and he just basically misjudged this move. I think he went down to go to the left and pass him, and he just tagged him and turned Greg right into the wall. Michael Waltrip gets a little bit loose in 4. Doesn't tag anything, but he's got some flat tires he's got to fix. Man, that was weird.
Whoa. He was all by himself.
All by himself. It didn't even look like he was really up to full speed.
Beginning with the guy we were just talking about, Cale Gale.
Some of these guys were reporting that there may have been some oil down on the racetrack. We see Jeff Burton spin also behind him.
We'll go on board with Jeff Burton. There was
these guys were just racing really hard off 4, and they just looked like they all ran out of room right here.
Jeff Burton and Augie 39.
He just slid up, and I'll tell you what, Denny Hamlin did a great job saving that race car.
And that's not the first time we've seen him do it. Kurt through the grass, thankfully misses the end of that pit road wall.
Kurt just slid up. You know, his car got into a big Mears fall. He's a little bit loose off of 2. He's sideways.
Around.
And he got turned. Oh.
Caution flag is out. The race is over.
Get fired up, get around here.
It looks like somebody in front of him got into somebody, and they kind of turned and hit.
Now on the backstretch.
Wow. Well, it looks like Ryan Newman just ran over the 04 car. Inside of him, just came down across Kenny Wallace.
Shane Huffman in the 88 car is the lucky dog.
20 car had anything to do with that?
Denny Hamlin.
Pushing again, I guess.
Making a lot of friends here.
Tim Sauter in the 36, and you can see where he talked about just clipping Curtis Davis in the 0 car.
Then Shane Hall got turned as well. Has not been a good night for the Sauter boys.
No, it has not.
Looked like Shane might have just locked him up and spun himself out. There's Curtis Davis. Pit road is open, and here.
Too many cars and too little racetrack.
Ends it at the 17. Go ahead, Wally.
Yeah, man on the high side. And he's got a little bit of a run going, but it just gives him a tag going into the corner. That's a tough thing about this place. If you do hit somebody going into the corner, it's pretty hard for that person to save it.
What happened?
Something broke on that car.
Sure did. Just slid up the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the right front went flat, but it looked like something broke.
Kenny Wallace. Kyle Busch goes around off the front end of Leffler. And watch for the accordion behind him.
Let you go. Dig.
Was part of it, and this took a long time.
It really did. The 19 car gets loose.
No caution yet.
Then Bernie Lamar gets around. Then these guys just start spinning.
And we're told there was oil on the racetrack.
It sure looks like it. Looks like he's just going to get hooked. Tries to save it, and right straight into the wall. Let's see, he's got Skinner behind him. Got a couple of cars in front of him. Mike just turns him enough to ruin a night.
Yep.
Kevin was running good. See, 39 gets in the back of the 20, turns him around. And then somebody gets back into the 2.
Because Boyer probably slowed up, and whoever was behind him didn't. And this was a moment ago.
It's up on the high side, and he just lost it, got loose. One thing he did was stand on the gas, Kyle, because he was starting to slide up towards the wall. That was pretty smart.
Yeah, when you see when he gassed it up, it drives it down the racetrack, and the guys behind him saw it coming quick enough that they were able to avoid everything, so it becomes a single car accident, so that's okay.
And see, we can see what happened to Kyle.
Yep, just got loose, got away from him. Lucky he didn't hit the wall.
And this is a funny part of the racetrack coming out of turn 2. You can be incredibly loose or have just a tight car and it just snaps loose on you all of a sudden. But like,
yeah, he's going to get run into by somebody. He had to check up for the guys in front of him. I believe that was Regan Smith in front of him that he had to check up for, and Kenny Wallace just drilled him. Fourth on the screen, although he may have gotten a little bit of help by Mr. Jamie McMurray in the 64 car.
And look, somebody's been there before. Up the track. Here comes Kyle Busch for position. Oh! He's into Hornet A. Ron trying to save it. Goes around. Can he keep it out of the wall?
He does.
In front of him, the 90 of Gilliland.
Yeah, he was underneath Rudeman. Got on the gas. He started to drift up the racetrack. He turned the wheel to keep it off Rudeman so he wouldn't wreck him and spun himself out.
Menard
just checked up, and the 00 of Johnny Sauter just pounded the 33 car of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, he just stopped, and there was nothing going on in front of him.
Depending how they come off of pit road, if they decide to stop.
Yeah, 25 car got loose getting into the corner. You can see he had the tires and the wheels corrected to the right, and he just slid up into the 19 car.
Jay Sauter was held one lap on pit road after he was a lucky dog for passing the safety vehicles too fast. Put him a lap down. Chase the laps. And Jason Leffler gave him an added lap. a lot of traffic.
Backed up a little bit because the 27 was getting, yeah, that's what it was. 27 was getting turned in front of the 2 car. The 2 car checked up, and I think the 17 ran the 2 car. Are you going to get hit?
Oh, my. Eric Amarola.
And he gets a good look at who did it.
Yep, so he knows.
We can see what happens. 36 turns to 59. Stacy Compton. 36 then collects the 06.
Todd Cleaver.
First, the 66 of Brad Coleman. This is off of turn 4.
He didn't hit anything, so he's pretty much good to go.
And then there's Denny.
I don't know what happened there. He just got up in the high stuff, lost it,
and
wrecked it.
Yeah. Then the caution comes out, and now you guys walk me through this.
I can't explain this one. This is just not paying attention, actually. Drives down the racetrack and clobbers poor Jennifer.
So you can see what Lindsay was talking about.
Oh! No. Still not done.
Jerry Robertson.
I don't know how there wasn't 10 cars in that wreck. Just gets loose. He gets loose and he's saving it and saving it and saving it, and finally just got away from him. But he got loose and he slid up, then he got clobbered by Cleaver.
There was another car back there too, wasn't there?
I don't know if he touched him or not. That was pretty much in the middle of 3 and 4. Or I mean 1 and 2.
Ruderman in the 99. Stephen Light gets by.
Looks like he just got loose. I mean,
it's down in turn 4.
Yeah, the 90 wasn't really that close to him to take the air off.
Maybe got a little too high.
Apparently, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it got a little loose on him, and he corrected, and when he corrected, he got too high. I don't think he was too high the first time, but you see him right here. You see it kind of right here, kind of.
Let's take a look. Just too many cars down there. Looked like the 10 car drifted up the racetrack there. Johnny Andretti.
Yeah, and the other two had no place to go, because once it's like we talk about Dover being a self-cleaning track. Any track that something comes from the bottom all the way to the top, it just.
Casey in the 9, and there it goes.
Almost an exact replay of the 18 car. Goes in, just barely gets above that little black seam in the asphalt there, and it just jumps. And when he goes to.
It's like Stephen Wallace tagged the 47 of John Wood.
Right.
That's what started it.
Before that happened, though, everybody really, if you watch them go down in the corner, they were all giving each other room. A guy made a move.
Watch him head down into 1.
Looks like Casey K. May got some help going into turn 1 there. He had Ruderman all over the back of the car. Oh, and you see Biffle right there. He's slowing down. He doesn't know which way to go. Oh, you hate when that happens.
Yeah, you do hate it when that. And, you know, at first glance, it looked like it was just body damage to Biffle's car, but I think on the first 10 or 15 laps.
Oh, there's trouble right there. 88.
Huffman is around into the wall. Caution number 2.
Hit it out here. You're clear. You're all clear. Come on, debris up high, right where it says
the car, but
I'm not sure that car didn't take off like we were talking about earlier. It looked like that thing just took off and he went up the racetrack and ran out of.
And there he is in the grass. Who had the 48?
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do when that happens, but hang on and grit your teeth.
And that is a hard hit because it goes up, and that's a bad angle. That's just a hard hit.
He's getting above Dave Blaney. He just loses it. And I mean, the 44 loses it at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether the 44 lost it or got hit by the 20. Because it was like synchronized spinning. Ground.
Yeah, I mean, that right rear is just buried in that 4 car.
That's a hard hit right there.
Watch that right rear just get, I mean, drilled. Who is that right car?
I think that's Michael Waltrip. Goes around coming off of turn 2. Dave Blaney will be the lucky dog. And as Kyle pointed out, Harvick did get one of his laps back on the track.
How lucky is that?
And Kenseth is the lucky dog.
Just got loose underneath Musgrave there in the 14 car. And too bad, because Jamie had another good run going.
And the luckiest guy here tonight is Ted Musgrave.
Yeah. Here. Goes around the high side, just gets loose.
Yeah, it was sideways on entry.
Yeah.
The bad part for Kenseth is there's only going to be 4 or 5 laps left. Casey,
Boy, he may have enough there. He may have enough. Oh, there.
Here's and Edwards around. Caution is out. Daniel Quinn has gone around. Matt Kenseth sneaks through.
You got the leaders in your mirror, Casey. And I bet there's some contact here. Oops. A caution of convenience?
Wow. Purpose or not. What is that? Wow. That was under the yellow flag as the field bunched up just a second ago. Robertson.
Looks like Jerry Robertson got it to the 56 car. Chandel, I think, yeah, and then just blocked the racetrack.
Left side of the screen.
He's going to get tagged in the left rear by the 4 car of Augie Vidovich.
Now that's twice.
Yeah, Timothy Peters in the 29 car did not leave Stephen Wallace too much room when he was down there.
Or didn't know he was there.
Or didn't know he was there, but regardless. It looks like he just had to check up a little bit for the 31 car, or is that Cleaver maybe in the 06?
Yep.
Regardless, whoever it was got in his left rear. And
let's see what we can see here. Oh, he was behind Casey.
The 72 car spun DJ Kennington, and then everybody else just kind of was trying to avoid it. Like maybe the 33 car is going to get a little bit of help there from Jay Sauter.
Ooh, he caught Mike Wallace too.
Yeah, Mike Wallace got into that. In fact,
Augie Vidovich in the 4 was the car closest to him, but that doesn't mean he's the one that hit him. This was a carryover is what it was.
Boys.
You bump me off turn 4, I'll bump you off turn 2 on Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, and and this is just what Carl Edwards wanted to see, was this caution.
And trying to hustle this car and pick up these spots that he lost earlier. That was his Uncle Mike right in front of him there. Oops.
Up in 4, the 88 drills the 11 car. Huckman gets into Paul Menard, turns Menard around, goes back down the racetrack where everybody is and can't go anywhere because you got the wall on the inside of you. Oh, no, he just lost it by himself.
Yeah, he just lost it. But the transitions off are exactly the same way. You get cars that push up and just snap loose, and that could have been what happened to him because he lost it all by himself.
Look at how close that came to Pappas. He's probably going, what the heck? See that thing? It was off to the right. You can see the rubber was laying. I think we'll get another shot of it. But you see the tire laying up there, but it definitely came off. If he had contact with somebody to rip the tire like that, or... Ooh. Got a little help.
Got a little bit loose getting up off of 2, and he slid up in front of the 33 of Hornaday. Hornaday got in the back of him and touched him. Take a look. I'm sure there was some pushing around out there. Yeah.
Go high, go high, go high. Now go low.
Brent Sherman in that 36. You're saying something might have happened earlier?
Yeah, I'm saying there's probably a lap or two ago there's something that started all that.
Here's our first look.
Looks like Wimmer may have cut a tire or something. Something definitely went wrong.
Oh. Pit stops, Marty. Paul Menard trying to nurse a wounded car around the track, and a hard hit into the safer barrier. Under caution, 29 to go.
Just got loose underneath the 00, Johnny Sauter.
Trying to hold it down there.
Watch Cleaver there in the 06. Tried to turn down.
Yep. Couldn't do it. Montoya got by.
Well, they got in there clean. Looks like the 14 just slid up into the 90.
And Hornish got a big piece of it in that 39 car. It's John Andretti in the 10. Here they're...
Oh, wow.
Now this is on the restart, looking for Juan Montoya.
Sure, look, you know, BP, I'm not sure busting an oil line or what there, but the biggest thing in a driver, and it's not even, you'll see this shot, it's not even so much the fire at this point, it's all that smoke inside the car, that you're inhaling all that, you can't see, and you want to get out. Now it's probably getting a little bit warm, but that smoke is probably bothering more than anything.
At least it doesn't look like the flames were able to get inside,
Right.
that the firewall between the engine and the driver compartment held up.
That cone stuck on the front.
Oh, my
They just got
4 abreast.
Actually, the 38 car looked like it hooked the 77 car. It looked like Jason Leffler got into Bobby Labonte, turned Labonte into Stephen Wallace.
And the aforementioned Ron Hornaday in the 33 car has a lot of damage.
Yes, he does.
Looks like the 5 car just got loose. Looks like he just got a little bit loose getting into 1 there. Not sure what happened to Huffman. Looks like he got loose at the same time. Yeah, he was way up high in the marbles. Is that Vickers that he tapped?
Wow. Yes, the 57.